Hey guys, Brent Hull Build Show, talking today about a design hack, a quick way for you to share ideas with your client, practice your design skills. Come join me. Okay guys, so I had a video a few months ago about one-point perspective and talked to you about sketching. I want to go into that a little bit more, and I'm actually going to take a door header or design a door header, and then we're going to go out to the shop and build it. So this will be a two-part video, but the first part is design, and it's really a quick way to share ideas with your clients. We have clients all the time, they kind of want to know what things look like, right? They want to understand. And so our jobs typically as builders and designers, we can see three-dimensionally, right? We're used to looking at a blueprint and going, yeah, I can kind of imagine myself in the room. Clients really can't. And so learning how to and practicing your sketching, showing them things is a great skill for you to have. It can be as simple as just drawing hardware on the door. So in this case, I just took a picture of the door and then I drew a rim lock on top of this door, right? Another thing we did was the back of a client, they had this hood that went over a front door, and because these doors were so exposed to the exterior, I suggested that we take one of those hoods from the front of the house and put them on the back. First question the client asked is, well, what's that going to look like, right? This one was a very easy one to sketch. Do a little section view of kind of what it would look like on the side. I sketched that over top in pencil and then come back with a pen and give them better shadow lines. And then very quickly, I'm able to show them, hey, I think this is what this would look like. It puts the client at ease, and you can go and build these things much quicker. As you get better at this, you can begin to then sketch on and look at bigger picture things. In this case, the client wanted a motor court, right? They wanted something that was in front of their house. What would that look like if we cut that across, if we moved that over? And so with very few lines, right? Just a curb line, a little bit of a hint of a line to the front door, I'm able to sketch up and show them what a motor court would look like at the front of the house. Now, this is me walking up to the house, finding a good perspective, taking a picture on my phone, okay? Well, I'm not buying special cameras, I'm not doing anything crazy like that. And so I'm going back to my computer, I'm uploading it, I'm taking the picture, I lighten it up, and then I sketch over top of it. I print it out in 8.5 by 11, draw it first in pencil and then back in pen. I go to another perspective on this house, right? I go to the side, what would it look like looking back at that garage? And so I draw that motor court again, kind of where the parking could be, how they would enter the front door, and then show them this perspective. You're just hinting at these ideas, kind of giving them things. Now this is very quick. This sketch would take me 10 minutes, right? And so very quickly, I can go take some pictures of the job and come back and then sketch over top of it and give them an idea. When you get better at it, we'll go back to this French house, right? The Dilbeck house we were looking at. You can begin to sketch over top of things and really help clients see things. For instance, if they wanted a motor court down here, you can see the hint of the line where the old wall was. I've moved that wall back, I've heightened it up, and now I've given them more room to turn around down here. I've hinted at possibly a gate down there, but again, very few lines, lightened it up, first in pencil, then in pen, and kind of give them an idea. As you get better, you can begin to help your clients see things. Now, one of the ways it really helped was their entry needs a lot of help. And so I'm doing more French garden gate, kind of country gate kind of deal, where I've drawn over top. You can see the hinted line of where the metal gate is, right? And I've given them a much more simple gate. And then, of course, with the landscaping, looking at the front of the property, all of a sudden I'm designing and helping them see. Okay, so I've got a client that has a door going into his bedroom that he wants to elevate, right? That he wants to show off. And so I just stand in front of his door and take a picture, right? There's a picture of the door. And now, here's my tools, right? I've got an H pencil, okay? So typically what you buy is a 2H pencil, and their pencils are graded, right? Some are really charcoaly and heavy, which is what this pencil is going to do, and some pencils are really light. So I will start with a very light pencil, go to a dark pencil if necessary, okay? Or I'll go from that light pencil to this pen, right? So this is just a Pilot razor point, and this is a Papermate flare, right? This has a thicker, beefier deal than this. So most likely this is a pretty simple one. So I'll start with the H and go to the pen and see how it looks. Now, I'm going to just use historic precedent to come up with some ideas. I'm going to give them if this is our architrave, right? The door casing is our architrave. That means we have a frieze and a cornice above it. So very first thing I would do is I'd come along and I'd give them a frieze, right? So I'm going to put very light lines here. I'm going to give them a frieze that goes across here, okay? And you can see, I can see that line, it's very faint, okay? Now I'm going to do a cornice. So I've got a bed mold, I've got my little corona, and then I've got a crown, okay? Now I'm just sketching these lines across here, right? And then I've got my bed mold over here. Now I've got a rough idea of how this can be elevated. Now, because this is fairly simple, I'm going to go right to the pin, right? And go to right to this razor point, and I'm going to fix these lines, just darken them up so that everybody can see them. And I'm not being super specific. That's a very rough outline. And now I have elevated that door. Now, I don't love this, so I'm going to try and play around with some different things. One is I could put a tipium in here, which is a little kind of panel that comes across here. And I know that this would build out, and this gives it a little bit more inflection. See that? And all of a sudden I go, yeah, well, I kind of like that. Now it is elevated, and you're going to go, yeah, I kind of like that, right? So there's one idea I could share with a client. Now, if I really was going to try to do something that's not just me sitting here sketching, I would come back in with these pencils and I would start doing shadow lines, right? Where I would come in here. I can see that there's a shadow line on the outside of this door casing. So I'm actually going to add shadow over here, right? And I could add shadow, I could add a darker line there. Now here's where I would come in with my thick pen and I would just add shadow where I know it's going to be, right? And so I'm darkening up these lines, and I might outline the side here in a bolder line so that now it starts to have kind of jump off the page a little bit more. This just comes with practice. This just comes with looking at things. But here's a quick way, right, of giving a client an idea of how to elevate their door. Now, another way you can do this, okay, if I just take another fresh page, instead of doing the frieze like we did here, right, where it's a flat frieze, I'm going to do a pulvinated frieze, okay? Now, pulvinated frieze means that it's round, okay? I'm working out details in my head, and I think sketching is a great way of doing that, and it's a skill and a practice I want you guys to be able to accomplish. Here is kind of the idea that I was showing my client. I didn't even do this in pen, right? I did this just in pencil, and so I'm showing these details to the client, but I think the proportions of this came out nice, and it ends up being a very pretty way of communicating an idea with the client. I had another one with a broken pediment. We'll do another video on how to build a broken pediment. But sketching, guys, sketching is a great way to share ideas with your client in a very quick way, and helps you work out ideas, helps you work on things, and all you're doing is taking a picture on your phone, adjusting the color, washing it out a little bit on your computer, printing it out on an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and drawing. So you watch my 1-point perspective video, it'll help you kind of gather ideas. You become the designer, you become in control of how that's going to work, right? As opposed to saying, well, have someone draw it up and I'll build it, right? I want you guys to be the guys that design and build. To be a master builder, we have to understand design, we have to understand scale and proportion, and sketching is a great way to start. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Hull Millwork Hull Homes. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and sign up for the newsletter. A lot of great information there. I'm Brent Hull. Thanks for watching.